Hello, fellow trumpeters and musicians. My name is Josh Rzepka, and today is a very special day because today is the very first installment of Mute Monday. This is a series where once a week I film and upload a video where I discuss trumpet mutes. And you may be asking yourself, why would it be necessary to have a series for trumpet mutes? Well, you probably don't realize how many different mutes are out there and how different they all sound. If I go back if I go back 8, 9 years, I lived in a world where I thought I needed 4 or 5 mutes and that was it, right? A straight mute, cup mute, a Harmon mute, plunger mute, and I had a bucket mute and a solo tone, so I had 6 mutes, which was more than a lot of my peers. However, now I've got somewhere between 150 and 200, and that may sound a little ridiculous, and I fully admit that it is. However, hear me out. I went on a quest, and I went and tried to find the mute that had the sound that was in my head. All right, this is the purpose. When we're playing music, we're going for the sound. Not only that, we're going for function, right? It needs to play in tune, it needs to sound good, it needs to blend. So I went on this quest and I found that there was an entire world of mutes, and I became a little obsessed, and because of that, we're going to have this incredible series. And I'm very excited because this is going to be a chance each week for me to go in depth on a couple mutes and really share what I think is unique and special about them, and really what makes them interesting and or worthwhile in getting. So that's the big exciting news. The other exciting news is that I am currently filming a 3-video series where I am comparing mutes, and this is by mute type. The first video is going to be cup mutes, the second will be straight mutes, and the third will be Harmon mutes. And in each one of these videos, I will be comparing somewhere between 40 and 50 different mutes. Yes, that's right, 40 and 50 different mutes, which means I have between 40 and 50 different straight mutes and cup mutes and Harmon mutes. Yes, you can see how it's a little crazy. However, my insanity is your benefit because you're going to be able to hear all of these mutes compared one after the next. And if you ever, wanted to know what a Ulven mute sounded like in the original chrome plate, or the more recent copper, or the more recent aluminum, you're going to be able to hear it. If you want to hear what the Shastock line sounds like, you're going to hear it. If you want to hear the difference between different handmade wood mutes and old vintage mutes and brand new aluminum or copper or brass mutes, you are going to hear all of them, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be really cool. And I've been filming these now for a number of weeks, and it's going to be a number of weeks yet of filming and editing before I can really put these videos out there. But I just want to give you a heads up that is something that's going to be coming pretty soon, and I am very, very excited about it. So for today, for this very first installment of Mute Monday, I just got it in the mail this week. It is brand new. They just started sending them out, and this is the future of plunger mutes. This is the Hirschman KR Indigo Plunger Max, the KR Indigo Plunger Max. There's also a version that isn't the Max, I think that's a little smaller. This is the newest and greatest plunger mute that there is, and I'm going to explain why, because you may say, well, I went to the hardware store, I got one of these, it's good, works, it sounds fine. And I thought the same thing. And I had the opportunity to speak with Kenny Rampton, who designed this, and the amount of thought and effort that he put into creating this mute is astonishing. And the results, well, the proof is in the pudding, and this mute delivers. So there's a couple things that really make this stand out. The first and the number one thing is that this mute is in tune. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is when it's in the closed or the open position, the tuning doesn't change, all right? There is a hole drilled in the top of this mute. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. There's a hole, and there is a penny in there. And there's a penny on the outside, and you can rotate it, and you can open it, and you can close it. There you can see the penny a little bit better. You can open and close it. So you can really dial in how open you want this mute to be. And the dimensions, something about this mute, it just is in tune, and it's incredible because, like I said, this mute I've got, and I drilled a hole in it because that's what my teacher told me to do years back, and I thought it was great. This leaves it in the dust. I'm going to be demonstrating in just a minute, but I wanted to kind of just share a little bit of the history and evolution of some of these mutes. Of course, we all have the regular plunger mute, but then there's been companies such as Hirschman and Berg, right? They've made mutes like this, and I have this here. You can't see the text is very light. This is also a plunger mute. This is made by Shastock company back in Cleveland, Ohio, and this says Tommy Dorsey plunger. And there's another one of these that Hirschman and Berg made. There are ones from all the different companies, of course, right? And there's different versions, and everyone had their own take on it. And the problem is that none of them really played great. None of them were in tune. None of them were easy to hold. None of them could accommodate a straight mute, so that you didn't have to find some goofy pixie mute that sounded terrible and wasn't playing in tune. So I'm going to get into all of that right now. So the very first thing, give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my trumpet. All right, first I'm going to be demonstrating this mute in the open position and then in the closed position. And what I mean by that is that penny on top, rotated, open, and closed. Then I'm going to do it again, but with the straight mute so you can hear how that sounds. And I'm just going to play a couple notes through the different registers so you can hear the wonderful, wonderful intonation and the response. All right, so now I'll put it in the closed position. This is just so great. All right, so something that I didn't mention before is the design of this, the shape, just this little end. Man, it is so comfortable to hold. It's really, it's perfect. It doesn't fall out of your hands. So now, what I'm gonna do is take my straight mute here, all right? This, you should all have a mute, looks just like this. This is the Denis Wick aluminum straight. It is a wonderful straight mute. I'm also a Denis Wick artist, so I'm a little biased. Put that mute in your bell. If you had one of these other, now, barely covers the mute. This is nope, look at that. Get stuck on it. Doesn't work. You need a pixie mute if you're gonna use one of those old mutes. Now with this, boom, incredible. It really just covers the bell perfectly. And now listen, so we're in the closed position still. It's pretty great. All right, now we are in the open position. All right, so now you heard that the new Kenny Rampton mute, incredible. So let me play some of these other ones, which are, you know, these old vintage mutes, and some of them they still make, and then of course some you can still get in the hardware store, and you can hear the difference just immediately off the bat, not even close. Now listen to this. All right. It's tone, it's tone, it's in tune, it's incredible. And no, get it out of here. All right, next. This is the Hirschman Berg. First of all, this is teeny tiny. You hear the difference between closed and open? It's like a semitone, it's a whole tone. It is very far off. Yeah, nope, get that out of here. All right, next. This is stone lined, right? Another Hirschman Berg creation, but this is like the modern rubber creation. Doesn't have holes in it. It does have this hole at the top where you can hold it by, which is kind of nice. However, that being said, unusable. The intonation is just, it's all over the place. Let's check out this old Shadstock. Tommy Dorsey mute. This has got to be good, right? Tommy Dorsey, of course. This is like, this was made during the big band era. This has to have the right sound. It's got to be in tune, no? Let's find out. Well, so first of all, this is metal, and I think originally it had a little liner or something on it, possibly. Doesn't now, so it buzzes. This is actually better than that new one, but it's buzzing. This little hook here, impossible to hold, and it's just not dialed in with the intonation. That's the thing. That is what makes this mute just unbelievably good. And super, super excited to have gotten this in the mail. Very excited I had a chance to talk with Kenny and for him to share about this mute. And I really encourage all of you, if you're looking for a plunger mute, this is the one to get. You got to find it, you got to get it, because it just sounds incredible and it's going to make your life easier. So that's what it's about. You see, like, I just played 5, 6 different plunger mutes, and you could hear there was a difference between all of them, and you could hear there was a difference in function. And that's the important thing. That's the thing that I'm going for. That is why I am comparing 50 different Harman mutes in an upcoming video, because I got to find the one that really works best. So I hope that you enjoyed this first edition. I know it was a long one. This very first edition of Mute Monday. I'm very excited to be bringing this series to you every week. Coming up next week is a very special video. I just I just this week got a couple mutes back that I had been waiting for a very long time. And well, here's one of them. Of course, this is the classic Ray Robinson straight mute, cut mute. And this was beautifully and expertly restored by the one and only Roger Ingram. And so next week, I'm going to be comparing this mute to this mute. So these are two 1930s Ray Robinson cut mutes. Roger actually restored both of them for me. And I'm going to be comparing both of them because I went to his house and he fine-tuned the corks. He sanded them down, and this one's tighter and this one is a little less tight. So they sit different distances from the bells, gives you a little different sound. So I'm going to be comparing these two mutes with this. Wait a minute. So this is the new version. All right, this is the cut mute by Warburton Music, and this was designed. It's the Ingram Mute Meister mute. Of course, you see the bottom is a bit different, but this is the new version of this mute. So I will be comparing all three, but actually I'm also going to be comparing these three with one more mute. I'm going to be comparing them with this one. This is a later Ray Robinson mute. Hold on, I wanted to compare something else. Yes, I found it. This one here. Something's wrong with that. And that one here. What is happening? Why do I have 6 Ray Robinson mutes? Well, I'll tell you why in next week's video. All right, I'll see you then.